Hi guys, we are a week away from the Missouri 2025 bow hunting season. Stick with me just a little while and I am going to tell you how I chose this stand site and exactly how I plan to use it in Missouri's early season bow hunt. We'll be right back. Welcome back guys. So if you caught my video a couple of weeks ago, I explained about this cutover behind me here. Now this is a huge bedding area with the deer in this area. There's so much cover in here and there's so much browse and food for them, they really don't have to move much. I'm not going to go into it completely right now, but there's three main ways that a deer gets their hydration. And one of those is from free-form water. Now, right behind these little trees in front of me is a little pond that I'm going to show you some trail cam footage of in just a few minutes. There's trails coming up through it. They approach this pond down this little bush hog trail and also through the trails leading into this reclaimed field, this reclaimed cutover field here behind me. Now we've got some weather patterns that are going to be predominant in the Midwest and particularly in Missouri for at least the end of September. There's in effect what's classified as a mild La Nina. What that means for September, predictably, is that temperatures are going to be a little cooler, which is going to be wonderful because, as I mentioned to you before, the photo period and hormones of the deer have got them molting their summer coats and they're moving into their winter coats, which is of course going to make things a little warmer for them, so they're going to be much more likely to move in cooler temperatures, which is always a good thing for us. Secondly, it's going to kind of change our wind directions. In a mild La Nina, winds take a east to west flow. Couple that with the cool temperatures flowing in from the north from Canada, and that's going to give us a predominantly north wind here in the state of Missouri. Now, let me tell you guys right now that what I'm telling you is not going to have much effect on what you guys do and what your patterns are. Different parts of the country are always going to be different. Not there's nobody out there when they tell you this is how to hunt September. Well, that only holds water where they're hunting and during the climatic conditions that they're hunting in. Every place is different. So what I want to bring to you on this video is what has gone through my head to give me the theory and the hypothesis of why I believe this is going to be a good stand site. It'll be different in your area, but this tells you kind of how I approach setting up an early season stand. Now, as I mentioned before, there's three predominant ways that a deer gets hydrated. One is through their diet. When they eat young, tender grasses, leaves, shoots, most of the time they pick up a lot of moisture out of that greenery. Well, we're in the middle of a drought right now in Missouri, and the grasses are dried up, and there's not a lot of moisture in them. So the deer are not getting the moisture that they were back in our wet spring and summer that we had. A second way that they get hydrated is actually uh, through the processes in their body as they process, and I believe it's proteins. Don't hold me to that, but some of their food, and I believe it's proteins. When they process it in their body, a byproduct of that is water. So that also hydrates their body. And then, of course, a third, and what we're keying on with this stand, is free-form water. What I mean by free-form water is rivers, creeks, ponds, anything that has standing water in it. Now, again, alluding back to my video from a couple of weeks ago, I knew of two isolated ponds in this area. One here at this corner, and the other deeper into the woods. So I put scouting cameras on both of those ponds, and I'm going to at this time, I'm going to run through a compilation of the images that I captured, or the video that I captured on those cameras, and I'm only showing the ones that were within shooting hours. So let's run that now, and then I'll be right back. So as you saw on those videos, the deer are coming in mid-morning and late afternoon. So they're coming up out of their beds, and where they were coming in is this sycamore tree that's right here. There's a trail that they come out from here, go across, and go in right between that small cedar tree and that sycamore tree. The trail leads and goes over the edge. The other one is right between those 3 oak trees that are there, there's another trail that goes right over the edge. And as you saw in the video compilation that I had, that's the primary directions they were coming in. Now, at one point, I was thinking about one of the trees along this edge of this bush hog trail over here as my spot, but a north wind, which I'm expecting most of the time hunting this stand for the rest of September, would take my scent. That is north, and this stand faces south. So that would have taken my scent right over the top of that pond. So I've come to this side, and I've come from side of this trail that I expect them to be coming in on. And I expect the travel of the deer to come out, come right through here, and either work their way up into this trail or over into this one. There's an outside chance that the deer will also be coming down this trail, work their way straight across over to the pond, but that also gives me a 15 to 18 yard shot as they walk in right there. So from this locality here, my scent is being blown out through that, and I expect travel here, here, and along this trail. And I expect the wind to be going right through that way. Now, having said that, I will not hunt this stand in anything but a north wind. And by checking uh, the stations, the climate stations, that is what the La Nina should be predominantly giving us, is that north wind. My hunt's not over by any stretch of the imagination. I have since moved my cameras off these ponds. They've given me the information that I want. I've got those cameras set up on east to west, west to east travel pattern trails that are existing here. So I've got them set out on a couple of locations there that I know are heavily used trails working across this property. So I'm going to home in on those guys. That's going to give me some alternative ways of hunting early in the season. But the main thing I'm going to be looking for is travel patterns to mast producing trees, feed trees, and other delectables for the deer. Early season, the feed trees do me no good. The oaks are not dropping acorns probably for another month. The persimmons here, completely green. They're not doing any turning. Got a couple of pictures of what they're looking like at this time period, and I'll share those with you. First, here's the persimmons. And now, here's the white oaks. So, last year was a crazy bumper crop year for acorns here in Missouri. You couldn't put your foot down without stepping on a half dozen of them. They were everywhere. Well, oak trees being what they are, they don't produce like that every year. So it's going to be much fewer trees that are producing the food. That's a good thing. If I can locate those trees, which is what I'll be trying to do in my scouting, then that's going to be a gold mine for me later on in coming October and on into November. Same thing with the persimmons. I've got a few trees that have plenty of persimmon on them. I've got other trees that during this drought they've just not produced well. So if I can find some that are producing very well, those are going to be definite little honey holes for me also. So that's what I've got going on. Uh, I think I've got a pretty good game plan to start this off with. And again, I want to reiterate, this is only going to work for my particular area. Um, I've got people that come to my channel from all over the country. I've got them, down in Louisiana. I've got viewers in Pennsylvania. I've got viewers in um, Indiana, Ohio, Alabama, um, Wisconsin. Don't remember if I said Pennsylvania or not, but a couple of that have become pretty good friends of mine are stationed down in Pennsylvania. They're going to have totally different conditions to hunt in. This is what I think is going to work for me at this time in this season. So I encourage you to find out what your weather pattern is going to be like, what's going to be a good draw. The reason this is going to be such a good draw, this particular pond, even though it's not as nice looking of water as the other little pond, it's not as pretty a pond. Here's a picture of this pond. And here is a picture of the little pond that's deeper in the woods. Now, even though the little pond is cleaner looking water, a little larger, a little more to it, the deer are not bedding there. The deer are bedding in this reclaimed cutover here behind me. So they're coming in to get a drink of water from the first source where they're still protected and close to their bedding area. So that's why I've chosen this pond. And as you saw from the video compilation, this only had 2 of the animals in daylight period from the other pond. And I've got like 12 from this one. And a few of them nice bucks. That's always exciting to see the antlers, but that's not my main goal right now. My main goal is to take a whitetail with my recurve. So that's what I'm looking for, and I think I've got the opportunity right here on this pond. Hope this has helped you. I hope that you can go do a little research, try to use a little logical sense of the area that you're hunting at. Where are the bedding areas? Where are the food areas? Are you in an ag region? Do you have a lot of forage, as I do by me in this cutover? Um, is your area already dropping acorns? Do you already have some persimmons or wild plum or crabapple? Some other preferred food source for deer. Do you already have uh, these trees that are producing mast for them? Take all of this into consideration, because there's nobody out there that can tell you this is the way that you have to hunt at this time. It's just not like that. You've got to take into consideration your own region and what's going on in your own area. So hopefully this has helped a little bit. Uh, I'm testing my equipment up here. I feel good with my setup. Everything feels great. I'm going to get out of here now, and I want to thank you guys very much, as always, for coming into my channel. I'm going to go ahead and link back to my video from a couple of weeks ago, if you guys want to take a look at that, when I was first developing my hypothesis on this area. So I'm gonna let you go right now. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. If you got just a second, go ahead and hit that like button if I've given you any information that you think is useful. And if you're not subscribed to it, go ahead and hit that button also. And always remember, y'all come back. Thanks, guys.